think someday you might break hearts. Someday you might just fall in love. You might even drive a car. In the between and all the change, I'll be by your side. I'll love you, 'cause you're a piece of my heart. Whatever you do, wherever you are, no matter the time, the place, near or far, in all the good and all that's hard, I love you, 'cause you're a piece of my heart. Someday you might just change the world. I know you're changing mine. Someday you might have a family. Don't worry, take your time. In the between and every part, I'll be by your side. I love you, 'cause you're a piece of my heart. Whatever you do, wherever you are, no matter the time, the place, near or far, in all the good and all that's hard, I love you, 'cause you're a piece of my heart. I love you, 'cause you're a piece of my heart. You were born, your mama said, the Lord bless you and keep you, in everything that you do, take heart. When you were 8, your daddy said, never take your life for granted, believe in second chances, my love. When the world spins madly on, remember that you belong. You are strong, you are brave, you are all you meant to be. Everything you ever dreamed came true. When you laugh, when you cry, I'll be always on your side, and thank God for you. You were 12, your brother said, I will always have your back. When you're happy, when you're sad, through it all. When you were 16, your auntie said, I remember my first broken heart. Don't let it steal your spark, my love. When the world spins madly on, remember that you belong. You are strong, you are brave, you are all you meant to be. Everything you ever dreamed came true. When you laugh, when you cry, I'll be always on your side, and thank God for you and me. When we're older, we will say, what a life, I think we made it. We worked hard and never said quit, my love. When we're older, the kids will say, the Lord bless you and keep you, in everything that you do, take heart. are strong, you are brave, you are all you're meant to be. Everything you ever dreamed came true. When you laugh and we cry, I'll be always on your side, and thank God for you and me. Thank God for you and me.
Here comes the moon, held by my love, to shine on you with a light that comes from above. It's not the sun, not burning bright, but it's enough to not be hit by the night. How does a tiny brilliance extend such a hope to the world? The answer is found inside of you. You hold the power to guide people home who are lost in the dark. Your heart burns much brighter than the Here comes my child, held by my love, to offer hope to a world with light from above. How does a tiny brilliance extend such a hope to the world? The answer is found inside of you. You hold the power to guide people home who are lost in the dark. Your heart burns much brighter than the moon. You hold the power to guide people home who are lost in the dark. Your heart burns much brighter than the moon.
Good morning. My name's Teresa, and I want to welcome you to Neighbors Church, where our mission is to love God, love ourselves, and love our neighbors. To see a full list of everything going on at Neighbors Church, please check the bulletin at your table. To stay up to date on the very latest, text the word NEIGHBORS to 402-512-1856 or fill out a communication card on your table, and we'll pick them up after today's service. Pride 2024 will be held June 7th and 8th in Lincoln. As in years before, Neighbors Church will be part of this event. We will have a presence in both the parade and a booth during the festivities. Volunteers are needed. If you would like to join us, there are sign-up sheets on our generosity table. And on June 8th, Terry Coder, my husband, and myself will start our mission trip to Pine Ridge representing Neighbors Church. So thank you. Next weekend will be the last weekend we'll be at church before that mission trip. So if you are going to make a donation, thank you so much for everything you've brought so far, but please get donations here next week. Next Sunday we'll pick up everything. The Pine Ridge Indian Reservation is in the poorest county in the United States and has the lowest lifespan in the United States. So extreme poverty is the theme of the location, but there is a very rich culture. Terry and I will be respectfully taking pictures, and we will be keeping a journal and sharing stories when we get back, so you can see what we experienced, and some of it will be very beautiful. I don't know if you've ever been to the Badlands, and please pray that it's not 108 degrees while we're there. The Badlands do get hot. T-shirts. We now have Neighbors T-shirts available if you'd like to sport your neighbor's shirt. Church shirt. Ooh. Just connect with Betty Olson to get your shirt, and we do have some available today, I believe, so she's right there. You can connect with her after service. If you would like to help support this wonderful church, please share through our giving box around the corner by clicking onto our website at neighborscommunity.org or by mailing checks to 575 Fallbrook Boulevard, Suite 102, Lincoln, Nebraska, 68521. Another way you can help is to spread the word about this wonderful church. Like and subscribe to our Facebook and YouTube pages, and invite your friends and family to join us at Neighbors Church. And Will be joining us via recording. So Trevor said we should sing loud and we'll sound better, but I guess it depends on who's singing. So welcome.
Let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as our maker, children all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every breath I take, let this be my song vow, to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth. Let it begin with me. perfect harmony.
This was a season of infinite light, when the distance from heaven was not far behind. I was close to you. I was close to you. Carry me back to that moment in time when the colors and fragments were beautifully bright. How I long for you. How I long for you. 'Cause it's out here in the dark, underneath the canopy of stars, constellations falling from your heart. Tell me that I'm not alone, 'cause honestly I'm so alone. But promise me I'm not alone. How many miles does my soul have to drive before love can collide with the mess in my life? That's not hard for you. That's not hard for you. 'Cause you see us through spectrums of darkness and light. But I'm losing my way and I'm losing my mind. I can see the truth. Help me see the truth. 'Cause it's out here in the dark, underneath the canopy of stars, constellations falling from your heart. Tell me that I'm not alone. Honestly, I'm so alone. Promise me I'm not alone. Oh, just promise me I'm not alone. I felt the light of the moon on my face, the memory of sun that been shining for days. You've already been in that desolate place. You've already been here and you made a way. Pinpricks of glory strung out across the sky. Memories of darkness undone by the light. Reminding me you are right here by my side. Here by my side, here by my side. Out here in the dark, underneath the canopy of stars, constellations falling from your heart. Tell me that I'm not alone. Honestly, I'm not alone. Because you find me and bring me back home. I'm never alone, never alone, never alone, never alone, never alone. Out here in the dark.
Nice. Hi, everyone. Thanks for singing so loud, some of you. Others, you could keep it down a notch. But Will's recorded today, and I just want to thank you for helping us. We're going to be tweaking this as we go along. Sunday, actually this next Sunday, will be Will's last day here. He will be here in person if you want to come and wish him well and everything. The update that we have so far is they think that they have found a place to live there. And he's really excited about it. He says it's got a great view of the bay. I've never been to New York, but it sounds good. And so he's been searching there, and then Thursday he has another appointment just to make sure that he's ready to go for the surgery. So we'll be praying for him. So in the meantime, we're going to be having these recordings, and I've been talking with Will back and forth of how we can tweak them and everything like that. So we're going to be putting an ad out as soon as possible for a replacement. It just might take some time. So really appreciate you being part of this and helping us do that. So to celebrate, though, we have a childhood picture of Julan to take us to the, yes, I know. She once looked innocent, but it's really, this is a 3-minute break. Is she giving me the stink eye? Because she scares me. Is she going to hurt me? You look at her. I'm not going to look at her. So, all right. We take this 3-minute break, and it's a time to get some coffee. It's also a time to say hi to people. If you have somebody here that you haven't met yet, please tell them. Just go up to them and just say, "Boy, you smell awesome." You know, and just whatever it takes. Whatever. There's your groundbreaker right there. So, we'll take the 3-minute break now and see you in 3.
Crash down to the real world now. I told you, you have my heart. We run to where we belong. I told you, you are the one. You're my satellite. Won't you take me higher than the sun? We can go all night till we find our light and show everyone nobody does it like us. When you're feeling down, I know I won't let go. I will catch you when you're spinning out. 'Cause it's the love we found. It's worth more than gold, better than anything I've ever known. When the world's too loud and I need a home, you will be the one that I can call. When the days are long and I've had enough, I know you will be there. 'Cause nobody does it better than us. Nobody does it better than us. Nobody does it better than us. Caught up in the feeling now, I keep it in my heart. We run to where we belong. I believe it. You are the one. You're my satellite. Won't you take me higher than the sun? We can go all night till we find our light and show everyone nobody does it like us. When you're feeling down, I know I won't let go. I will catch you when you're spinning out. 'Cause it's the love we found. It's worth more than gold, better than anything I've ever known. When the world's too loud and I need a home, you will be the one that I can call. When the days are long and I've had enough,
flowers and the stars appear, and there's no one there to dry your tears. I could hold you for 1,000,000 years to make you feel my love. I know you haven't made your mind up yet, but I would never do you wrong. I've known it from the moment that we met. No doubt in my mind where you belong. And I'd go hungry, I'd go black and blue, I'd go crawling down the avenue. No, there's nothing that I wouldn't do to make you feel my love. The storms are raging on a rolling sea, down the highway of regret. The winds of change are blowing wild and free. You ain't seen nothing like me yet. I can make you happy, make your dreams come true. No, there's nothing that I wouldn't do. Go to the end of the earth for you to make you feel my love. To make you feel my love.
Good morning. First, before I read the scripture, have any of you driven by 14th Street Spilker's Tree Farm and seen their sign where they put up quotes? Yeah. They always have really meaningful quotes, and I've been chuckling at the one the last few weeks because it deals with choice. We're always talking about choosing to love God, love yourself, love your neighbors, choosing which pastry to take. Well, the quote this month is, if you come to a fork in the road, take it. So it gives deep thought. The scripture today is for Galatians 6, verses 1 through 10. My brothers and sisters, if anyone is detected in a transgression, you who have received the Spirit should restore such a one in a spirit of gentleness. Take care that you yourselves are not tempted. Bear one another's burdens, and in this way you will fulfill the law of Christ. For if those who are nothing think they are something, they deceive themselves. All must test their own work. Then that work, rather than their neighbor's work, will become a cause for pride. For all must carry their own loads. Those who are taught the word must share in all good things with their teacher. Do not be deceived. God is not mocked, for you reap whatever you sow. If you sow to your own flesh, you will reap corruption from the flesh. But if you sow to the Spirit, you will reap eternal life from the Spirit. So let us not grow weary in doing what is right, for you will reap at harvest time if you do not give up. So then, whenever you have an opportunity, Let us work for the good of all, and especially for those of the family of faith.
Thank you, Betty. Hi, everyone. I'd like to just own something right now. Without somebody else here, I always feel just a little bit off. You know, I feel like I'm spinning plates all by myself. And who gave her a voice? But why? Well, that's very nice. Well done. I will pray. Thank you. Are we done? Because I'd like to talk to these folks now. No, I really do appreciate you hanging with us during this. It's going to be. I think we're going to feel the absence, but I hope that we can come together and continue to make Neighbors what it is and help us through this. It helps me. You know, as soon as like every pastor, as soon as the worship leader says they're leaving, the pastor starts to think, oh, everyone else is going to leave too because they're here for the music, you know, and he's such a talent and such a force that I'm just glad to see everybody here. So this letter here, we are at the end. Next Sunday will actually be the end of the letter from Paul to the Galatians. And he's closing his letter here with some instructions to the church. In the first century, when churches started out, their services were similar to ours. We actually modeled our order of service after a lot of the earliest order of services that we could find. And what they would do is they would meet in smaller areas like this. They weren't huge gatherings for the most part. They would sing some psalms, that is psalms, you know, from the Torah. They would share a meal together usually, and that consisted of communion. If a new member joined the church, they would celebrate baptism. And that was about it, except they would have somebody come up and talk about the gospel, the message of Christ. And at this time, it hasn't been written yet. This is an oral message. But remember, a lot of the people at this time were illiterate. There wasn't a demand for written text at this time, but the people that were telling the stories, they knew those stories and they told those stories. And if Paul wrote a letter, Paul was quite influential. If Paul wrote a letter, if John, if Peter, if one of them wrote a letter to a church, those letters would be copied and shared with other churches. So Galatia is not his only audience when he's doing this. Right now, that's his primary audience. He's talking about these religious leaders that have come in and told the Galatians that they have to conform, that they have to be circumcised, all of this kind of stuff. And he's addressing this moment in time. But people would copy that letter and then they would share it with other churches. And part of their worship would be to read letters from Paul or Peter or one of the apostles, disciples. It was very important to them to do that. And so Paul, knowing that, he's got this stuff where up until now he's been kind of arguing this point against basically circumcision and conformity and all that stuff. He's been making the case, talking about Jewish history and all of this stuff. He's been talking about letting people that are from formerly pagan lifestyle, let them in. But now he's getting toward the end, and he starts to close it with a little bit of instruction, actually just for the church. Now keep in mind, the church is really new. I mean the church, not just in Galatia, but the church itself. This is a new thing. And the people that are attending these churches are new to the faith. They're not just new to the church, they're new to Jesus. They've been living lives in the Gentile world. They've been pagans. They've been all of this stuff. And their pagan lifestyle, they were used to worshiping idols. They were used to promiscuity. They were used to what we would even today, by today's standards, consider a very sinful and harmful life. This was what they lived. Now they have joined this circle of Christians, and they're all learning this stuff new. And so Paul has some instructions for the church itself. Now, from here on, when I talk about the church, I mean us, every one of us. We are the church. the building is not the church. It's not a church without the people that are here. And Paul, in his letter, one of the things that he says, for instance, he says, those who are taught the word must share in all good things with their teacher. What he's establishing there is that pastors. He's establishing pastors, and that pastors should be paid, because pastors should be able to devote their entire life to their call of spiritual guidance. And so he is setting up the parameters. He is actually setting up the structure of church for people. Keep in mind, they didn't know this. The Jewish followers of Christ, they were familiar with temple. They were familiar with religious leaders and synagogues and all that kind of stuff. But the pagans, this is a little bit new for them, and they're learning that this is more than just a social gathering for them. He even says, do not be deceived, God is not mocked, for you reap what you sow. This is twofold what he's talking about here. One, he's talking about it is the church itself that should support that church. When he's talking about paying the pastor and making sure that the lights are on and all that kind of stuff, whatever case they were worrying about, their mission, their outreach, all of that stuff, it needs to come from the church itself. He also talks about not mocking God, because if those religious leaders that you are supporting, if I start showing up here in designer suits, if you've got a pastor that's driving the best car in the parking lot, if you've got a pastor that's talking about things other than Christ, if you talk about a pastor that's preaching hatred and things like that, that's where he says God's not to be mocked. For you reap what you sow. In other words, you give to that church, and that church should be a reflection of what goes on in that church. So if you've got a nasty pastor, you're going to have some nasty results. If you're not giving of yourself to that church, it's not going to you're not going to have much of a harvest to celebrate. Talking agricultural terms is what they did a lot then. And that doesn't just mean monetary. It does mean a little bit of that. And but a lot of it is just giving of ourselves, giving of our spirit to each other. The church itself is in the first century, it was about, what do we do here? Okay, we followed Jesus. We want to be more like Jesus. That's our purpose as Christians, to be more Christ-like. The early churches were one of the very first institutions that created things like school, created hospitals, outreach to the poor. This was something that was very much part of the early churches. It was about a community trying to be better at what they were doing, better today than who they were yesterday. And it was all about trying to invite other people and expand that generosity, that harvest, that reaping, to expand that to people in need. One of the earliest books, we talk about scrolls and things like this, but I'm talking about like one of the very first physical books where pages are bound and everything like that, and you open it up like this. One of the first incarnations of that was actually created by a church because they were trying to teach people literacy. They expanded that knowledge. That's why it evolved to where the word was written and things were written down, because more people were able to finally read it. And the knowledge part was a very big part of the early church. It wasn't just about feeding the poor. It was about expanding who we are as people, both our mind, body, and spirit. It was about truly being better than we are today. He goes on and he says, if anyone is detected in a transgression, you who have received the Spirit should restore such a one in a spirit of gentleness. Now, this is something that we have, as a church, throughout history, we have abused this particular part here. We have done the one-and-done Christianity, where I've accepted Jesus, I'm saved, now I get to judge the world and tell you all how wrong you are. And that's not what Paul was talking about. Notice that he says in a spirit of gentleness. Now, we do have people that take wrong turns. We do have people that make bad choices in life. We do have people that live destructive lives. We do have people that, for one reason or another, harm themselves or other people. And what Paul is saying is that it is up to us as a community, as a Christian community, to encourage each other to be better Christians. Not just better people, but to make sure that we are living a Christ-like life. You know, Jesus who said, love your enemy. Jesus that crossed barriers. Jesus that was in the house of people that other people would not have anything to do with. He was all about that, and Paul is telling the early churches that that is our function as a church. The people of the church is to continue to do that and strive for that. Now, we've taken that wrong because we've taken that as just, I'm going to look for what you're doing wrong. I'm going to take, your problems, and here's what you're doing, and all this kind of stuff. And we like to just nail people on that, and we like to just walk away from it. Well, bearing each other's burdens is the next thing. He says, bear one another's burdens, and in this way you will fulfill the laws of Christ. That means bear each other's burdens. That means we're not supposed to just say, you are awful, and just walk away. We are supposed to help each other. Remember, Christ said he's not here to heal the well. He's here for the sick. The church is a recovery unit. That's what it is. It's a hospital, it's a recovery unit, it's rehab, it's whatever you want to call it. But the church folks here, we are all people that are trying to be better. We are all people that are trying to be a better person than we were yesterday. And we are all people that have failed and try to pick ourselves back up. And what Paul is saying is that we are here together because of that. We are here to help each other this way. Sometimes it's like moving. You see somebody that has an issue, that is doing something that is either causing themselves harm or other people harm, and instead of just confronting them on it and saying, you're an awful, awful person, get out of our church, what Paul is saying is that you carry the burden with them. You help them. Just like if somebody's moving, they know that, or they learn that this is not where they should be. But they know that in order to be a better person, a better Christian, less harm for themselves, to be more loving, they have to get here. As Christians, we are not to say, you stink, and then just watch them struggle. We are supposed to help them move. We are supposed to help carry some of that load. Now, where they're going is their home. That is their destination. We all have different things that happen. They have their own calling. They have their own thing that they're working on. We are just there to help them with the lifting. And that's what Paul is talking about the early churches were doing, is that we were all trying to be better people. And when somebody was confronted, sometimes I don't like the word confrontation because it can mean a harsher thing, but when somebody shares a concern about what somebody's doing, the church would work with them and help them to be better at what they were, whatever they were struggling with, whatever they were harming. Sometimes those harms were not something that they were doing to themselves. Sometimes those harms were things in their life where they had been harmed, where they had been hurt. We're not here to just say, I'll pray for you and walk away. We are there to help share hurt feelings. We're there to help share grief. We're there to help share that struggle. We are not meant to walk this earth alone. We are not meant for that. The church was created so that we could help each other, so that we could truly be there for each other. And that's where we've tried to point the finger and hurt people, but he also says this, all must test their own work. Then that work, rather than their neighbor's work, will become a cause for pride. What he's saying is that we are to help people, but it's not where we end. We're to help people with their struggles, but we also need to continue to acknowledge our own. And to continue, if we think that we're all that, I'm a Christian, so I get to say that I'm good and you guys all are worse than me, that's delusional. and it's not helpful, that's where we have to take a look at our own. AA has a wonderful, common phrase, take your personal inventory. Go through the things in your life of where you might have misstepped, or things that have caused you pain, or things that you need to work on, and know that the church is supposed to be a place where we come in and we can own it, and we can help each other. We carry each other's burdens. You help me with mine, I help you with yours. We are supposed to come as individuals from all different walks of life with different talents, different things, different pains, different struggles, and like a puzzle piece that comes together, and we help lift each other up. That's what a church is really supposed to be. It's not a place where we just come in and judge the outside, or put down somebody, or talk politics 24/7, or just have the donuts and the coffee and all of that kind of stuff and think of it as a social thing. This really is, for many of us, it's like rehab. It's like rehab. We come in either with a sore or an injury or something about us, and we work to make ourselves better. We work to make ourselves Christians, and we should never think that we're coming into this place alone. We should never think that. We should always know that somebody here is going to have our back. Somebody here is going to help us move those boxes in our life as our journey goes forward. Now remember, being a Christian means moving forward. It's not something where you just say, I'm a Christian, now I just get to sit here and gloat. It is a continual forward motion of trying to be better. You fall, I'm going to be there to pick you up. I fall, you be there to pick me up. And I have fallen. Man, have I fallen. If you know me at all, you know that my face has tasted dirt so many times because I have fallen flat on my face. When I was, the thing that helped me, the person that helped me become connected with my Christianity, my inner soul, was actually Fred Rogers. It truly is, you know. I had a moment in my life where I rediscovered this man, and I studied him. I'm very good friends with a person that worked on the program. We call it just the neighborhood, because the neighborhood was their mission. It wasn't just about a children's show. It was about, Fred saw this as a ministry of teaching the world to love their neighbor. This had an incredible impact, and it was life-changing for me. And I could also relate to Fred. Fred, like me, was picked on a lot when he was a kid. He was bullied. He had enormous insecurities. I've struggled with that all my life. He had problems with anxiety. He was always questioning of whether or not what he was doing was working. But he turned all of those fears into his honest self with a mission to help others. And I have based, I'm sorry to say, I've based my ministry more on him than I have on any other person that I've known. I've had big influences in my life, but he's the biggest. Now, before all of this happened, when I was, this is years before, I was a comedian. My job was to be a comedian. I did stand-up on stage, and I did comedy on radio and in commercials and things like that. And what you develop as a comedian is when you're working with doing things with a bunch of people in the audience, you get hecklers and things like that, and you learn to fight back. And I started to develop a wicked sense of humor, a sarcastic, a bite, and at that time my hero was Groucho Marx. Far cry from Mr. Rogers. If you don't know who Groucho Marx is, Groucho Marx, if think of dry wit, sarcasm, biting, almost negative humor, not dirty humor, but just negative. He's the king of that. He started that. Anybody else after that is just a cheap imitation, but he's the one that started the ridicule, the saying a line that could just drop somebody to their knees. And several years ago, that was me. I could be sarcastic on stage, and people loved it. But when I was off the stage, I didn't know when to turn it off. I continued to be biting. and I would be sarcastic, and I would be where it was getting hurtful. And I was doing it as a defense. I've never known anybody in entertainment that has not been insecure. Never met anybody that has. We're all messed up. That's one of the things that, for some reason, entertainment and things like that attract the really insecure people. And we fear people. And so my defense was to use biting sarcasm to keep people away. I didn't want people to get close to me, and I didn't want people to get to know me. I wanted them to stay away, and I used really biting sarcasm. Now, I know that today I still have the humor, and I still do some sarcasm. I'm telling you, the sarcasm that I do today is miles different than what I used to do. This is two different planets. You would not like me a number of years ago, and I didn't like myself. I was Groucho Marx. He's funny in the movies, but in real life, he was kind of a jerk, and so was I. And it took a moment where I had people that were close to me and loved me that came up to me and said, "This isn't you. What you're doing, that's not you. That's not the person that we know. What you're doing is harming yourself and others." They were very gentle about this, but they did share their concerns that I was going down the wrong path. And together, with their help, they helped me to walk that path. They helped me to move that burden and to discover what it was that I was doing and why I was doing it. More importantly, why I was doing it. And that's because I was frightened. I was afraid of people. I was great in front of people. The larger the crowd, the better. But you have me mingle with one or two, I was horrified. Sometimes I still am. I'm very much an introvert. Just regular conversation, that scares the crud out of me sometimes. Because deep down inside, I'm not him. I'm more him. That's what they helped me to connect with, is that it was okay to be this, because that's who my honest self was. I care about people. I love people. I have a warm heart. I'm sensitive. All of that stuff. All of that stuff that made me afraid to show. It was the people that helped me carry that burden that helped me bring myself back to my true, honest self. And it was then that that was the time that I rediscovered Fred Rogers and found somebody that I could associate with. And it was then that I heard God's call to call me to be a pastor. I would have never heard it if I was there. Never heard it. But because people addressed something to me and walked with me and encouraged me, I was able to find who I was again. That's what we do as a church. That's exactly what we do here as a church. Every single one of us, we have things about us that we struggle with. We have pains that have caused us to do stuff. I had deep-rooted pain that led me to the deflection and the defensiveness of this wall that I kept people away. Every one of us, we have something that tempts us the other way, that tempts us to do something that is harmful to ourselves or other, or to keep people away. And what Paul was saying in the first century, I'm saying today, we need each other. We need each other. We need to be there for each other. We need to encourage each other. The thing that is keeping you down, one of us or all of us might have a little bit of strength to help pick you back up. And we do the same for each other. We're not here to lambaste each other. We're not here to name call. We're not here to kick people out. We're not here to discourage. We are here to encourage. And we are here to share that road together. That road that encourages us. You ever notice that when you move by yourself, it's long and painful, and it hurts, and it seems like it takes forever? But when you have people that help carry the load, it can actually sometimes even be fun. It goes shorter. There's always pizza. That's what we're here for. We're here to help each other, to be a better person than who we are, to discover the inside of who we are. We're here to walk together. That's what carrying each other's burdens is all about. That's what the mission of the church is all about. When we go out there and we do the mission trips and all of that stuff, we're walking with those folks. We look at the physical, I've given this or I've given this. The truth is we are sharing and carrying a burden with people. We are helping them through it. The thing that I love about Teresa and Terry is they have said over and over again, when they go there, they do not just supply the stuff and run away. They meet the people. They talk to them. They share commonalities together. They share holy ground together. They share the path of Christianity together. That's what we're here for. And so I hope that we take this and learn that we are doing it. And I want to encourage us. We already saw some of that today. We have a singer that's not here. We have a definite a hole in the worship order of service. But even on recording, I heard people lifting their voices up. I heard people taking charge of that church. I heard people that knew that there wasn't somebody leading so that they would lead. We came together and we sang some really great songs. And some of you sounded awesome. And some of the sarcasm. I do have the sarcasm. I do have the humor. But it is organic, and I hope it's inviting, rather than trying to just defend and push people away. I hope that we never, as a church, push people away. I hope that we are always organic, our honest self, and inviting. Would you pray with me? Gracious and loving God, help us to know that we are not alone. Help us to know that we have struggles, we have temptations, we do things that we regret. Sometimes we get so defensive or we rationalize. We don't see our actions until somebody points it out for us. Help us to be open to that. Help us to help each other. Truly, help us to be neighbors, to be friends, to be the church. In Jesus' name, Lord, we pray. Amen. Well, every Sunday we celebrate communion together. And if you are new here, this table is open to you. Julianne made the bread, and this is grape juice. But as the early churches, like I said, they would do this every Sunday, every Sabbath, because they knew that this was to celebrate who they were, which meant a community, a together, a people together, working together, with one goal in mind, to love each other. Take, eat. This is my body. Churches in those days would end services with a full spread, a meal, because it was always a celebration. And they always included communion, because Christ said, "Do this in remembrance of me." And they would always pray together. Would you join me now? Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. If you are here today, I hope that you feel welcome. If you're watching us online, I hope that you feel welcomed. I hope that you know that none of us are perfect. All of us have fallen. And I hope you know, most of all, that you're not alone. Let's close now with Amazing Grace.
Grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found, was blind, taught my heart to fear, and grace my fears relieved. How precious did that grace appear the hour I first believed. Through many dangers, toils, and snares, I have already come. 'Tis grace hath brought me safe thus far, and grace will lead me home. When we've been there 10,000 years, bright shining as the sun, we've no less days to sing God's praise than when we first begun. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me.